All right. Good morning to everyone. More of these screens squared away. Good. I'm gonna switch to headphones. Actually, I will be right back in 1 second, and then we'll get started. It's turned off though. Sometimes I think the audio bleeds in. Like that. I rethink my hoodie as well. And have to fill my water. I was not very prepared this morning, it turns out. Do that in a little while. Okay. Hello, everyone. For anybody that might be new, if you haven't caught this before, my name is Tim. I go by FomaGuy on GitHub and Discord. We're working on CircuitPython stuff. If you don't know what CircuitPython is, you can learn more at circuitpython.org. This is the website for it right here. This is basically a version of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. There's a bunch of pictures of them here. There are 373 different devices right now that support CircuitPython. The way these devices work is you plug them into your computer. Will show up like a thumb drive. You can edit a Python code file on that thumb drive and then save it, and the microcontroller will run the code for you. Many of them have ways to hook up other peripherals. So like these pads around the outside here are for hooking up with alligator clips. These pins here are for connecting headers and plugging into a breadboard potentially, or soldering into a circuit or something like that. You can then interact with these other hardware peripherals from your Python code using these devices. So that's kind of the high level look at what this is all about. In particular today, we'll be messing around with displays, which is one of the things that I'm kind of drawn to with CircuitPython. So I do a fair amount of work on display stuff, and that is what we're getting into today. I have a couple of things in the core that I want to do, and then start a draft of updating examples for the new displayio APIs. I think there's a couple of different ways we could do it. So I will probably make like a draft PR and then try to get feedback from the wider group during the meeting or something like that. So that's kind of the stuff I have in mind to do today. To start with, I'm just going to actually be updating this older PR from a few weeks back is having conflicts. So we're going to fix that, merge it, and I don't think that will take too long, but we shall see. So I'm on the branch here. I'm on the branch already. I believe I already pulled main before I started, so I think we can basically... Interesting, this usually starts here. I'm not used to seeing here. I guess it's a submodules thing or something, I don't know. Anyway, so we have the branch we're on. We want to merge main into the branch we're on, and then what we're expecting is exactly what GitHub told us, that palette has conflicts that we need to resolve. So we're going to go to here. PyCharm is going to give us this nice thing, which is hopefully going to make it easy to figure out. Good morning to C. Grover and DJ Devin. How's it going? Got my coffee as well. So I think this is some stuff Scott did, maybe? For the Bangle JS? Yeah, dithering was one of the things I think Scott added in that Bangle JS. Yeah, so this would be, we definitely want to take that, all this stuff. Basically, we want to take everything from the right. We do have a difference here. What do we have? I guess, yeah. Okay, and this one calls validate range. This one we actually kind of want both. We want to get the validate range on the color. We want to also get the dither from that one, which is not actually going to come through 100% right. I wish I could just like embiggen this. Guess I can do this. I mean, I don't really want to shrink that one, but that's okay. So the thing is, it brought over a second line. We don't actually want that. We want our validate range here, and then we want our dither afterwards. Or, yeah, afterwards. It goes self, color count, uint, dither. In ours, color count uint is replaced by this validate, parenthesis open, parenthesis close. Boolean for dither is the new one, and then we don't want this line. That doesn't need to exist. Could spam them across multiple monitors. Actually do that, I suppose, yeah. Makes it tough to it makes it so I can't show it on the stream. And I will say too, actually, it's kind of awkward, I think, probably. I'm used to it at this point, so it's not really awkward for me, but there is actually a gap. There's probably like a foot and a half. There's like a relatively large gap between my two screens. And so it does work, but there's like that gap in between because of the way it's set up like that. We have, oh, that's just to do, okay. There, that's our new argument. There we go. Apply. Nice message. Nice. A response back from my older message over in Hug Reports. Great to hear. Multiple monitor with a gap makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense to me, which I guess makes it, I grant that it's awkward. I kind of use them as independent windows. I don't know. I don't really stretch stuff across it too much. I have window A, window B, and window A is usually like the thing I'm most directly focused on. Window B is usually like other stuff. And then stuff bounces back and forth as it becomes the thing I'm focusing on, or like if I'm only going to focus on it for a second, or if I need to like copy paste or visually compare or whatever, then it can stay up there on the second screen for a little while, and then I can work back and forth or something. Like one of the things I end up with is dev tools, like in the browser, the dev tools when I'm working on HTML, JavaScript, CSS. DevTools ends up on screen B a lot, with screen A being like IDE and the browser page that I'm actually working on. It would probably be better. Not to have a gap, but I am used to it at this point, and it's a space constraint with where it's at. If they didn't have a gap, there would be some wasted space behind it that couldn't really hold stuff or do anything very well. I was looking at some stands a while back. I should get back into looking at that. I was looking at some stands for my screens that might alleviate this problem. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a third one either, up above or something. Anyway, let's go pre-commit. Multiple monitors. Span for games. Don't do games anymore, so spanning isn't used much. I'm the opposite for games. I want the single screen for the game, and then the offhand screen is like background music or something else to look at while I'm dead. Use span for YouTube video production. Yeah, video editing and stuff like that, definitely a massive amount of screens does help a lot. I have tried to do even basic edits, and I do find myself kind of wishing I had more real estate for sure. There's so many controls and things in video editing, and it's helpful to have a real size preview, so that like takes up one of your screens kind of, and then it's like you want a timeline, you want all this other layers, all this other stuff, library of footage. Should be all we need here, but it does have all these changes which I didn't actually touch. Oh. Okay, right. Yeah, I guess we don't want to commit. Instead, we want to just push commits, which will have the merge there. I'm just going to double check on this. Get our dither. The only line where we needed to actually like splice things together was this one here. It looks good to me. I should look into this. I'm still a bit unclear on dither. Anyway. Sometimes OBS. Yeah, I do have OBS on the second monitor. I tried to actually put it below the chat so I could see the green status so I know when it cuts out or not, hopefully. I did actually cover it back up with Discord though. Audio or video programs require you to run everything in one program window, so you have to span it, yeah. Okay, here's our main merge. It's gonna have to do all of its checks again, and then I don't know how quick it will notice if the conflicts are resolved. I guess hopefully it will notice that relatively quickly. Anyway, I'll leave that open and we'll come back to that later. The other one I have pulled up here, which is in the core, before I get into the examples, do you want to do this before the examples, or do we want to do the examples first? Let's do it. I guess let's do example code first, actually. I don't think it's going to take very long, because like I said, I'm going to put down one idea for the way we can update it and then try to get feedback on it. I think the best first place to do it is in the displayio guide. But I also don't know what it's called in here. Audio editing span is nice too. Ableton 2 monitors is really nice. Yeah. Went vertical and placed a slider console monitor above the track editing view. Vertical with top and bottom. I do kind of like top and bottom. If I got a third screen, I would go above, I think. One of these days, one of the things I want to try is defining one of these built-in displays from an external one, like use a feather and a feather wing or something, but make a thing in the core for it so that it will have the built-in display show. So this would be one place to change it. I'm not going to edit the learn guide yet because this isn't pulled from a PR, so we can't like get feedback on it or anything. But it's good to know this is here. We'll have to remember to come and change it because the other edge of that double-edged sword is it's not in a repo. It doesn't go through the PR process. We can't get feedback. That also means after we do all the PRs and stuff, this one won't update, so we'll need to come back and change it. Mostly I'm looking for like some of the basic examples. So they're going to be in here. But this is going to be coming from display text. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, CircuitPython displayio. Perfect. That's where we want to go. URIO? What does that do? Cool. UR decoder. UR decoder, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. How new is that? I definitely did not know that was there. QRIO, and that's a built-in, that's a core module? Yeah. Dark Saber. Sounds dangerous. So the one specifically we looked at first was text, I guess. Ooh, that's interesting. What is that? Let's do Pico Mini. You want to add a display to this board? Does it not? It has a board definition, but no display? It would be tough. I don't have one. Are they available? AliExpress the only way to get it? Somewhat hesitant to order from AliExpress sometimes. I mean, all the time, truthfully. S2 Pico. Olin Wi-Fi IoT. They're like a reseller on Amazon or something. That's great. That's a different one, but it looks similar, right? LilyGo. Oh, that's a display module, though. Doesn't look like the exact same ones are here. Five stack. Oh, that's dangerous. You give me one of these tomorrow? Jeez. And five stack. Is there a this work? Five stack fire. Basic. None of those look the exact same, but maybe it's just the shell changed? Core 2? Ah, okay, this is core, I guess core 1 probably. This one maybe doesn't work yet? I wonder how different it is. It says ESP32 though, right? So it's not S2 then? Or is the, oh, this is also not, maybe. All right, well, we're well and truly into the rabbit hole here. I think we'll pull back a little bit. I2C. Okay, has an I2C board. Yeah, I probably would start with one that's not treading new ground, so to speak. I would start with one that is basically the same as an existing one, ideally. Yeah, an I2C display. I guess at that point, I'd probably have to. The next best thing I could think to reference would be like the mag tag, because the mag tag is the only one that is non-SPI, I think, right? Or, well, yeah, I mean, it is SPI, but it's e-paper display instead of display as the class, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would not know. I would definitely be sticking to a SPI one to start with, so that I'm like not having to also be on the cutting edge. That would be interesting though. I think that display we used yesterday was I2C, one of the frame buff ones. I mean, it should be possible, I think. Connected to the same bus as the external port. Reset pin connected to GPIO 18 I2C address. Not supported in firmware. Oh, it says that on here? I see. Yeah, I would say, like, I mean, I'd be okay attempting it, but I probably won't try to buy one from AliExpress just to be able to. So if they get made available somewhere else, maybe I could try to pick one up, especially if they're actually relatively cheap. I mean, I'd be expecting, I guess, a bit more expensive from somewhere else. Since I've never done it before, I don't necessarily want to, like, I don't know. I feel like you need to be more vetting your sellers and stuff than I want to do for AliExpress. Even though it's cheap, I don't want to deal with like just taking forever to come or not coming at all or being messed up when it gets here or anything like that. To 92C. Is the macro pad? Macro pad is like the sort of smallest, like least capable, I guess, screen that I can think of that's built into something. I don't know if it's actually I2C though. It's probably still SPI. So the main change we need to make is instead of display.show, it's now going to be display.rootgroup equals text area. So the most like basic way to update it is just overwrite it, right? But the question is, do we actually want to overwrite it right away, or do we want to keep supporting CircuitPython 7 for a while, in which case maybe we want like you know, probably has a lot of downsides. Here's only go if I'm desperate and can't get it in the US. Olin has their own shop on Ali. That'd make it nicer, I guess, if I'm buying from like whoever manufactured it, I suppose. This is SH1106 monochrome. On high-speed hardware SPI port for quick updates. Oh, it does. Or is that it? Oh, I see. That's from the MacPad. Okay, okay. SPI. Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder. After I have tackled a SPI one, maybe I'll give it a shot on a I2C one that I have. Like this Featherwing we used last night. In fact, that might be. This might be the same display. This one's 128 by 32. I think is what that other one was. Did it say the size back up there? SSD 1306. Yeah, that was 128 by 32. So yeah, maybe I'll try it with this Featherwing because I can do that without any other hardware. I think. China's closer to EU than USA. It's a good question, actually. I don't know. Yeah, from shipping, how long it takes to get there. Good question. What was the, I guess, was it 733 or something? What was the last, like, what was the last pre 8.0? I guess this is probably not where I should be looking, right? Maybe like. Seven 3.0? 3, 2, 0, 0. Beta. There's a filter up there for like non-beta, but at this point we already I'm gonna say we already came this far. I'm gonna go back up to find it. 733. I mean, I'm thinking something like that is probably this way we have both for a little while, and then like after 9.0 comes out, then maybe it's time to come back and nuke this one and just leave this one. Because technically this does still work today. Technically you can actually still use this on 8.0, but we're wanting to, I would assume, wanting to get people to switch, because I think at 9.0 that's when this probably goes away and then this takes over. Talking about the Featherwing. Yes. Yeah, I believe that is the same one I've got. Yeah. It's 21 to 31, 28 to 31 days. Stopped at 804. Printing rabbit holes deep, yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't start up a print this morning. I'm running some prints for my dad. Should have started one up this morning. 3.5-inch touchscreen. That one is, I think, SPI. I've got, well, that one actually you can do SPI or parallel, I think. Oh, is maybe PyPortal is a parallel display one? Whoa, over here. Okay, I think we want check out dash. Actually, hold on. Get remote. Okay, get checkout dash b. Display IO API update. From fruit main. No track. And then I think, does it have pre-commit? No. But it does have element or something? What's that? Displayio. What? Oh, circuit. Shoot. Yeah, cancel. Grids. I have not run black by itself in so long. Isn't it like, I don't know. I don't even know. Black. I'm just gonna do it without. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure there's a flag, but I don't know what it is. Is there a pilot config? Pilot RC? Did it run Pilot on the Pilot RC file? Does it need equals? Gosh, dude, I am using pre-commit. I don't know the command anymore. I thought that was it though. Oh. This pilot example. Oh, but it doesn't, it's not, that's different though. Not in the same place. Oh, it's inception. There's only disable, this is not what we want. Why that's so close to back. All right, this has its own action though. Why is it so hard to just find the right command? Generating it. Generating it. And how to use it. Outputting H. Do I have to do RC file after? I'm pretty positive what are we doing here? I don't know. Maybe these are just warnings, I guess? Maybe these are just warnings. How do I, It's definitely failing, right? That should fail. Oh, it is running. Those are just warnings then, I guess. Why would this not fail? That's weird. I feel like I have a different version of Pylint now, I guess, or something, than whatever this was made for. And a 10. Perfect. Okay. Should this say set the group as the root group, maybe? I don't know. Right, we can get feedback. Part portal seems parallel. Nice. Got the modular wings. Yeah. Is it for IMX yet? The way I would assume. I think I'm just gonna open a draft one. Oh, okay, no, it's red. Myself with the red again. Okay. Do that. I guess I'll keep it open. Might as well keep it open. So then, like, if that change were to get merged, it would automatically come through to this page. Now, of course, we would need, like, you know, obviously this is a different file, so we would need to do it there. Lots of places we'll end up needing to do it in all those different files. And then we also saw it somewhere else on the other page, a couple back, I think on the group page it was. Okay. Next thing, though, in the core, I saw this come by the other day. Or I should say I did not see it when it came by a couple of weeks back, but I just saw it when I was looking through issues on the core this morning under the displayio tag, or label, I guess they call it. And this should be easy enough to fix, and I actually did boundary fill. I created this in the core. So it needs run background tasks because the USB can lock up while it's doing its work. So the thing is, inside of here, boundary fill, there's going to be a big loop in here somewhere. Yeah, this loop right here. Why are these gray? Unreachable. What? For you. Function is always false. That's not probably. Like if that was true, this wouldn't work. Anyway, I think the compiler, or the, I guess I should say the code inspection doesn't know what's going to happen here, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this probably fills in the length somehow. But then once it gets inside of here, it will start adding new points. Yeah, add all 4 surrounding points. That's adding new points to fill area. And then updating the length here to the new length, which then gets checked here. So yeah, I don't know, it's like this, it doesn't think it is reachable, but it totally is. As long as list length gets to 1 at least, which it will from this. But the thing is, this loop just runs a lot. This loop goes a bunch of times, 1 for every pixel that it fills, basically. And even actually maybe more than that, because it adds 4 surrounding pixels each time, as long as they're still within the bounds, but it still only iterates once per pixel. I don't know, I think it should only be once per pixel. Inside of here, though, we need to basically seed some time back, if I understand it. We need to let the USB do its thing, otherwise our stuff will take too long and the USB on the other end will give up or whatever. It'll be like, hey, that person's not responding. Run background tasks. So I don't actually know exactly how to add this, but I'm pretty sure what we need to do is inside this loop have a function here that will let it do its background stuff. I'm gonna try to find it by doing git grep -n and background tasks. Some in Bluetooth. Bunch of these, I guess. Was this the thing that I super don't like the way that this list thing works. I really just, how do you make it, can't you make it do all of them instead of that scrolling thing? No, not all lines. I only want matches, but I don't want to scroll through them. No NVM. Okay, it's not the same thing. Well, I'm usually right at home in displayio, so let's go look there, I guess. Seems like a weird way to call it. Okay, so I guess it is just literally that. Does this have to import from somewhere? Assume so, right? Come from runtime, maybe? Okay, this is just waiting. Okay, so if we put that in, do we want to do it every pixel? Like, I guess I don't think. I mean, suppose we could have some like, I don't know, we could have some logic that's like only do it every X iterations or something, but does it? Oh, I'm outside the loop, aren't I? Yeah, whoops. I don't know if it matters if we go at the beginning or the end. I also don't know if this will have access to that. What do we have for testing? Feather S2. Should we clean? For MP3 analog stuff, I don't think we'll do it out of the box. Is PDIF analog converter a thing? I do not know. I don't even know what SPDIF audio is, to be honest with you. What's this one? Oh, boy, that looks broken as all get out, doesn't it? So one thing is I did not do the this. Hopefully that makes it happier. It's an awful lot of red. Okay. Seems like we got her there. This image, but look like errors. It didn't ever do that, like, how big is the thing? Let's just do it again. While that's running, let's also look at the thing back here, which has reproducer code, which is basically just create a bitmap. Palette has 3 colors. Tile grade group, show it. Draw a rectangle. The outline of a rectangle. Non-rectangle. I don't know, this will be an angled thing or something. Triangle, maybe. Fill it. Fill it. Then with TO, they say while that's running, you go import and you get disconnected, reconnected. Basically, while it's doing the boundary fill, the USB hangs up. Proprietary digital audio format created by Sony Philips. Most TVs and audio equipment have them now for digital audio. It's basically like I2S, but way higher sample rate, capability above CD quality. Ah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. The table of success. Whenever your output looks like this is how I know I got a good build. I guess if I read more, it'd be like this kind of stuff or whatever. So I guess last time we saw this, but we didn't get the rest of this. So I guess it got part of the way done. all the way. I still have this muted tab from yesterday. I'm gonna close this actually. Whoops. That one wasn't important. Do I still have the camera? So many of these things open now. It's not gonna work, but maybe if we refresh. We'll crash the first time, so we start it up again, refresh it again. Then the next problem is that it's not focused. Okay. Just a little bit tidier now. Where am I at here? It did compile, I guess. Does that mean it's going to work, or does that mean it's going to crash whenever it gets to there because we did not import or whatever we need to do for this? Was there anything already calling it? There was not. Guess we'll find out. I'm going to run it with whatever is stock on here right now. QTT test. I don't think we need to keep that. It's just like simple test from there. I guess one thing is they show it being imported. Maybe we shouldn't save this as CodePy. CodePy has nothing but bfill. It's got that in it. So then we go back here. Only got a huge delay. It filled really fast. After a very long delay, kind of. So I did not, let's see if they say which device. I did not get the exact same thing, but we did have that super long delay. I wonder if that's like... PyPortal Titano. PyPortal regular right here. Try it on that. My USB cable's actually... Okay, I'll go get the PyPortal Titano actually, because it uses C also. BRB. Ouch. Bonked it. Oh, bumped my knee on the way back. Are you serious? Is this modified? So I think this was the example that I put when I was working on boundary fill. Is it actually modified? What's the following modified code? I wonder what's different. Maybe it's different colors, or maybe the second shape was added? Where would be? So it would just be, this is just in bitmap tools doc string sample or whatever. Oh, it's not actually there. Should be there probably. Maybe was it only in here? A little bit different, okay. Change the tab versus no tab shouldn't matter. Change the location of this one is the difference. Oh, that moved it outside. Probably. That probably moved it outside. I bet you this makes it fill the rest of the screen rather than filling the small shape. What is this? Wi-Fi, Bluetooth stuff? I don't think I need this. This was for a PR on this repo. I left this code on there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, actually, same thing. We don't really want it in code, I guess. Can't make I2S2SPDIF translator for CircuitPython is a proprietary format with licensing fees. And an old video, first time Lydia debuted the IMX 2 years ago. Yeah. When I understand the chips got kind of ghosty there for a minute. It was like, is that the same one as the Teensy 4? Or the Teensy something? Teensy 4? Not sure if that's the right number. There was a Teensy that came out that was like pretty powerful, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was one of those, and that was like one of the first ones, and I started to feel hyped up about it, but then like that main processor just dried up completely, it seemed like, or whatever, and nothing else really came out with it. Maybe I could be misremembering the wrong one too, though. Save that as bfill. Teensy 8, maybe? Are they already up to 8? Upside down, but okay. The M7s, same family. I gotcha. It'll take a long time on this one too. I wonder why is it taking so long? Does it not call show? Show way up here. Where is it? I wonder where our time goes in this. It's like, if we were spending time in here, somewhere in some of this stuff that's highlighted, why don't we see this? Maybe that's because of the background tasks, I guess? Maybe the background tasks actually do the drawing? Not a refresh is true. I guess this kind of makes sense. Wait, this is still... Is that the edited one? Oh. I am actually really surprised that it does eventually finish rather than just crashing. It is like really working hard in the background there. It's actually really funny to me for some reason. Oh, okay, that is the edited one. Well, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. That's a pretty cool hover. Yeah. I see. Because mine had black screen also. And this is filling it to white. And I had white borders, it looks like. I see. Out of curiosity, I would like to see print after show. Port view fill. After show. So we make it to there, but we don't actually see anything. We also can't control C, which stands to reason because the USB is dead, right? Fair enough. Not dead, but not listening, not reacting. TNC 4.1, okay. IMX RT N62. 600 megahertz beast, yeah. I see why everyone was all over TNCs. Never had one, no idea. I had a couple of the older ones, and I designed a few small projects around them for work. Never used them wide scale. And these were like TNC LC, I think, is the one we built a little IO pin hub type thing, basically. You could send triggers to Android devices or something. Okay. So, man, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for this entire thing again, but I do kind of want to try, like, if you did this, would you see anything on the display? Like before it's done? Because I find it weird that even though we made it to here, which means we called show, we still see the REPL. I would have expected at that point, I guess probably just blank black probably. Or whatever's in the background because of the way the bitmap is. Should be black, I think. Okay, we'll wait one more time. I don't want to do another one after this one though. Even if this doesn't end up telling me what I'm curious about or working how I think or whatever. I'm gonna move on after this one. Should maybe use a smaller bitmap. I guess we could probably see the same issue with a smaller bitmap and then it wouldn't take as long maybe. Does the original code, I want to try the original code too. Is the original, well, should Should I try it this way first? Let's try it this way first. My theory is inside of here, it might be able to refresh the display. Therefore, we see a black screen instead of the REPL. Then maybe we could start to see this stuff happening. I don't know. Print after outlines. Print after first efill. Second. Gonna wait on it again. We at least might as well get more information about it. I mean, I assume these are quick, right? Those are just for loops. Painting 1 pixel shouldn't go that slow, I wouldn't think. These could be replaced with draw a line, though. I'm gonna just double check and make sure everything's actually set up so that we don't end up waiting for nothing. No module. eFlow. I did that last time too, actually. Do. Oh, interesting. I did not expect to see these lines. That's kind of odd, because it implies the display was able to refresh, but in the previous attempt, the display never refreshed in that it never took the REPL away. Until it was like all the way done, is what I mean, though. Like, we were still looking at the REPL at this point in the previous runs. So I guess that pause on the other device was maybe something similar? I don't know, I guess the crux of it is boundary fill is slow for large shapes. Like, I will say, visually, if this was what you wanted to achieve visually, you could do it faster with fill, I think, in the background, and then only boundary fill the small shapes, basically. Maybe the algorithm could be more efficient? Does it? Truthfully, I cannot read. You know what I should do sometime is like super basic welcome to C examples. Is the only C code I'm exposed to is this, and I feel like it's built up so far and I don't actually understand the fundamentals. We're gonna be honest about it. I wonder though, inside of here, where's that add all 4 points? I think we would I think this is probably inefficient because it's I think it will recheck the same point, maybe. Like, it checks 1 point. Let's do a... Try to visualize what's going on here. Oh. We're just going to call this a pixel. It starts on 1 pixel, and then it's going to look at the 4 surrounding pixels. All of those are going to get added to the list, and then it's going to iterate again, and it's going to choose one of them. I don't know which one it will be, but let's just say it's the top one. So now this is the next one we're looking at. We paint it. We look at all the surrounding pixels, which is this, this, this. Those are all unique. This is one of the 4 surrounding pixels. So now it gets put back in the list. And then we check it again. We don't spend as much time on it, probably, because this says if it's already the correct color, then we ignore it by just continue. Don't do the rest of this stuff. Instead, go on to the next iteration. But if there was some way that it could just not add that to the list, we would save a lot of iterations, because we're going through a lot of pixels where we already filled it in, and therefore we skip it because of this. So I guess it depends how much time this takes. If this doesn't take very much time at all, then we're pretty much okay. But if this actually takes a sizable portion of time, then if we could instead down here have some way to, as this puts it, ignore points, but instead of ignoring ones outside the bitmap, we ignore ones that we already did. That means we have to keep a list of them, I guess. And I would assume we don't just want to move, like, you know, theoretically, we could just move this check of the color, I suppose. This could be down here, and it could check the color, and it could ignore points that are already the right color, but I don't think that will matter. That's just moving the actual time it takes. I would assume if anything is slow in this, I would guess most likely is getting back the color. So if we had a way to just know that we already did that XY without caring about what color it is, could have a direction. Not sure what you mean direction, like up, like in terms of the northwest, east, south of this kind of thing going on. Only check left, right, and forward. Oh, I see. Don't do backwards. Oh, okay, interesting. And then, like, once it gets to the edge, though, it needs to somehow come back the right way. See, the other thing is, too, this is kind of compounding, I assume, because, like, you know, at some point we check this one, which means we add this one again, and we add that one again. Like, throughout this process, we end up re-adding the same pixels kind of a lot. Pretty sure the implementation check and set each node's pixel color before adding it to the queue. I'm not sure if I understand why that's an optimization. I think that's what I was just talking about, where if you move this stuff down so that it ignores ones, but they're talking about even setting it. That's like, I don't know. Use a loop. This I think is more like probably what you're talking about, maybe. Gordy G. This one is more analogous. Doing up pixels above and below. So like you're working, working only kind of you're working in one axis, and then that way you're not duplicating as much. Yeah. This is probably the answer, maybe. Okay, there are a couple options in here. Probably, I would assume some of these might be better. I'm pretty sure the main one that it was based on originally is essentially this, which is the non-recursive one. Fill area, that's our list. They call it Q. We're adding the first point, which was the point that they passed in. We do have a couple more logics in here. There's where our loop starts though, while Q is not empty, while list length is greater than 0. Current point, get it out of the queue. Looking up the color value, that's where it's skipping if it's already been filled, which this actually doesn't have, but this one does. If n is inside, n is inside. I guess this gets done. I don't actually know exactly how this check gets done. Maybe it's inside here? Maybe this has logic inside it to check? Either that or it's something to do with this. Not sure. Set the in, which is writing the pixel, I think, for us. And then we get into adding the nodes, add all 4 surrounding nodes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have the check here for is it inside the bounds, which they don't mention, but we did. Continue looping until queue is exhausted, return. I just accidentally clicked away from it, but that was the end of it there. So that's basically our code in C. Remember when you could watch the progress of Phil in MS Paint? Pretty sure I learned that at university 30 years ago. Just up high school 40 years ago? Not quite 40 years ago for me, but it certainly does fly, huh? This one's like doing lines, basically. Interesting. I don't know if we have a way to, or if we have a way to do that, I guess. It seems like we need to be able to draw lines. Maybe we can. We'll test. I don't know what that means. Still talking about visiting pixels again. I wonder how much memory it would take to store the list of pixels that we have accessed. Because if we could keep a list of ones that we've already been to and just not put them back into list, then we kind of trade speed for memory. Like, we have to hold that list, but we stop ourselves from ever rechecking the same pixel twice. Or more. 4 times, it turns out, as that article said. Interesting. Food for thought. You don't put back in the list if it's already the right color because you painted it. It's just a test. Optimization is draw the line rather than the individual. We do have, I mean, I think checking the color might take more time though. So we do check the color and bail early. It might be interesting to test checking before we add to the queue instead of checking as the first thing inside the queue. Inside the loop, I should say. Yeah. Well, no, I think you should. Actually, I don't know how it works if you have a barrier of the same color. You shouldn't paint beyond a barrier of a different color. That part I would definitely agree to. So like if you had a black pixel line cutting off one half of the screen and you filled the left half with whatever color it is that's not black, it should stop at the line for sure. But if you have a black line and you fill the left side with black, should it go on? I don't actually know, actually. I don't know how it will behave, and I'm not even sure which way I think feels more correct now that I'm thinking about it. Good question. Okay, I'm gonna make this, and while that's building, run to the restroom. Kirby. Build. Middle error. Don't know. BRB. Let me paint what's in the initial color. Do not. I don't understand that at all. Frozens, maybe we need to update submodules. Isn't it something like that? Fetch submodules. I think it has a replaced color value. I think it's optional though. If you don't define it, it will just be the location. Then what would it do if you started on a different color? I don't know. Maybe it will replace anything if you don't give it this, but if you do give it this, then it will only replace what you tell it.